Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, Happy New Year! It's now 2024, which means we've had a bit of time to play around with the new legends that have come for the New Year's celebration. But in today's video, we're not only talking about the New Year's legends, we're also looking at some of the other legends that have come through December and putting them on our Covenant tier list to wrap up 2023 for the Sugo Fest December edition of the tier list. Now, in today's video, we're going to be ranking every Sugo onto a tier list for you guys, just so you guys can hopefully look at what characters are very, very good at actually maxing out and what characters you want to actually invest in. Now, just be mindful, this is my personal opinion of playing the game for a very long time. Your opinion might be very different to mine. So let me know in the comment section below if you agree with anything, if you disagree with anything. Now, this particular tier list covers every part of the game, from stuff like arenas and anything you can find in the Recollective Archive, to PKA, level 100 plus, or even like before that, and how effectively it is to farm on your account. Stuff like 10-star Kazuna, Super Boss Kazuna, Treasure Map, Grand Voyage, all of those areas of the game will come into play. PvP has a little bit of an effect, but I do like to make my own PvP tier lists. But if a character is very, very good in PvP, I have sort of made their own tier, then you would want to focus on that area for that particular character. But if you enjoy the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff, and let's dive into the last tier list of 2023. Alright, so this is last month's tier list. I'll just quickly gloss through the tiers for you guys. The top 5 is the top 5. I still think Gear 5, whichever way you guys want to look at it, he's the best unit in the game. He's out right now on the part 3 of the New Year's banners, so pick him up or try to pick him up if you guys can. Nami holding her own in second. Sanji and Zoro are very, very good, but we do have some Super Sugos, and this is going to change. So hang around to the end of the video. God tier, these characters are just outside my top 5. They'll probably fit into my top 20, I guess. We got Kaido, his rush is incredible. The Super Tandem and the damage reduction buff that versus Yamato gives is insane. Luffy Yamato are absolutely nuts. Roger Whitebeard with their swap for new players is insane. Straw Hat Crew V2 is insane with their final tap. New players, get your hands on Ace Yamato. They will help you in pretty much every piece of content. Uta and this Uta, whichever way you look at it, they're exceptionally good with paralysis, special removal. Fantastic unit. Unfortunately, it's only on part 1 at the moment, so you have to get lucky to pick her up if you don't have her already. K-Dad are fantastic with attack down removal. Big Mom and her ability to double stack conditionals is so friggin' good. Nami Karina, look, if you guys don't have Nami Karina and she pops up on Treasure Map banner, throw 3 multis at it. Like, just try your luck, because Nami Karina is so good. And then finally, Momo, the EXP god. He's just been boosted and like has been so good in so much content lately. He's just an absolute monster. Next, we've got Meta. Like, all these characters are very, very good because of characters above them. I am going to change up a lot of stuff here as well, because I do think that a lot of stuff has changed drastically. And a lot of these characters you're probably not going to be using as much anymore. Moving down to S tier Captain. Captains means you're pretty much using them as a captain mainly. It doesn't mean you can't use them as a sub. It just means that you're mainly using them as a captain, and that's where they shine the most. This particular Luffy for a newer player is probably my notable, like, god tier character if you guys want to move him up. And then Marco is your, like, other EXP option. Rayleigh Gabbana, great for attack down removal. This Whitebeard is very, very good. Cat Viper with speed strats is great. And then basically, as we make our way down, like, it just gets it, like, more and more, like, not as effective. S tier sub, these characters are very, very good in being a sailor or on the crew. Toki, Gear 5, sorry, not Gear 5, Red Rock, Queen, Carol Wanda, and then S. Like, all of these characters are just fantastic sub-units, and they're going to help you out in different parts of the game. But all of these units from, like, S tier Captain down, I would just sort of level up when you actually need them. Everything in meta above, like, you can probably level up at your willy-nilly. But as you make your way down, S tier level limit break, a lot of people ask me what LLB means. It means level limit break. And basically what that means is you need 10 copies of the unit to make this character as good as you see. So it's a bit hard to get these characters at that point, but they are all regular legends. Next, we've got PvP Focus. This is what I was talking about in terms of PvP. These characters are usually only used in PvP content nowadays. Doesn't mean they can't be used elsewhere, but PvP is the main place that you do want to actually use this character. Tesoro needs to be up here. A tier Captains, these units, and this unit needs to be up here in PvP as well. A tier subs, A tier Captains, again, they're just not as good as the S tier. And then as you make your way down, support, these characters you pretty much only ever use as support. But some characters like this Whitebeard and this Bardo have been resurrected because of stuff like Grand Voyage. So if you see that, then look, we probably have to move them up here for that reason, right? BT captains, BT subs, making our way down to Need Some Love. These characters down here need some love. They need 6 pluses. They need level limit breaks. They need all that kind of stuff. But like Smoker, he became very, very good because of love, because of Grand Voyage. So we have a bunch of characters to talk about today. We have the Treasure Map Legend, that is Greenbull. We have the Kazuna Legend, which is Otama. We have the 6 plus of Shanks, and then we have the 3 new Super Sugos for the New Year celebration. The 6 plus of Law, the free-to-play legend Ace, as well, is also here. I also included him. So before we dive into that, let's take a look at the tier list and see if there's anything that needs to change. As for meta, I think Kaido's seen his time. Let's move him down to S tier captain. Kid Law, very good for damage team. Same with Robin. Same with all of you guys. I think Luffy being free spirit holds his own a little bit more up here. Right now, these characters are all still pretty heavy in the meta. Blackbeard, I'm going to bring down to ST captain. I love Blackbeard, but like if you're using him, you're basically using him as a captain. So I think we just like hit that pinnacle of moving him down now. Let's bring you down. Honestly, like I gave you some time in the sun, but like you're definitely not very good. Marco's great. Kid's pretty good, but like nowadays, I think he's probably more used as a sub. Bonnie's got a pretty good captain ability. You're very, very good still, but not exceptional. The cat-dog combination is still nuts. Hiyori and Momo, I don't know if they're still ST captains. I recently pulled Hiyori off a ticket, but I don't have Momo, so that kind of sucks. But as for everything else, I do like everything else. I don't really think I want to move anything. I'm pretty happy with everything as it stands. We could probably move this Zoro down into S tier sub nowadays, just because there's been so many extra Zoros that have come out. As for everyone else, yeah, I feel like everyone else is fine where they are. All right, let's take a look at the new characters and let's talk about them. So Greenbull was the first legend sort of to come for December. He was Treasure Map Legend. He has that same ability that Superintendent Shanks has, where he can turn the opposition into a quick unit, so that way you have type advantage. He's a Orb booster, which you can then extend Orb boost, and he turns Dex Orbs into like a 2.75 times multiplier. He's good. Like, he's a good unit. I just don't think he's an exceptionally strong unit. Very nice that they're doing some stuff with Admirals, but obviously they just had to include him somewhere, and Treasure Map Legend was the best place to do it. He does have the ability to lock the orbs with his super type. So I like the orb sealing effect. So I do think that's probably why I want to put him up here in S tier captain more than anything. But he's just a strong unit. No utility in his captain as far as I can remember. He's just a very, very powerful unit that can do some very, very powerful things. Otama though, Otama's very interesting. She came not long after Greenbull for Kazuna. She's another powerhouse character, Dex powerhouse character. She has the ability to give a guaranteed conditional boost with her super type, which is going through immunity for defense down. She'll also reduce defense by 50%, which means that she can actually, again, proc her own condition, which is very, very nice. She can also increase conditional boost by 0.5 and orb boost. So I think she's going to be very, very, very good. Honestly, I'm going to move her up into meta, because I do think if you get this combination going with Big Mom and Kaido and stuff like that, she could see some kind of play. I don't know exactly what it would look like, but I definitely don't want to undercredit how powerful this unit is, because she can buff those conditional boosts that Big Mom Kaido can actually give. She can also buff the orb boost of Kaido, which is very, very nice. The downside is that if you're running these two characters, you're going to be using them as captains. So you're pretty much using Otama as a sub. That doesn't mean you can't run her as a captain, hybriding her with Big Mom or something like that. But I do think the best place she's going to be used as a sub. That way you can buff these two conditionals, buff the orb boost here. You got some despair and some utility removal too. So I think she's going to be very, very good for that powerhouse team. And with Rush Kaido and Big Mom being so good, yeah, I think meta's a pretty good spot for her. Next, we're going to talk about the new 6 plus, my boy V2 Wi-Fi Shanks. Honestly, V2 Wi-Fi Shanks is actually really, really good. And I do think he's an S tier level limit break. I just don't know how good of an S tier level limit break he actually is. I think Kid's probably going to be moved down to A tier level limit break nowadays with the whole update of Treasure Map. And Kuzan has to stay there. Cat, yeah, I'm pretty happy with everyone else's. I just don't know how good of a level limit break Shanks is compared to everyone else. Like, I think he's better than Ace, I don't know if I would say he's better than Luffy and Ace. I definitely don't think he's better than Stampede Ace and what Stampede Ace is doing, and I don't know if he's better than Tesoro. However, what Shanks is doing is very, very strong. A 2-turn attack boost for the dominant color on the team, plus a 1.4 times chain boost for 2 turns, which he can then extend in his captain ability. He gets base stats, and it can't be blown away. You can blow it away yourself with like Hakubar and whatever, but you can't have this blown away. It has that ability that just like Red Haki will not remove it. And in a boosted meta, like for Treasure Map, for example, I think he's going to be very, very good. I can see this unit being exceptional within particular parts of content, but he's just a nice unit to own. He's not like a disgustingly game-breaking level limit break, but just like Stampede Luffy, he's just going to be very, very strong. As a captain, he gives 2 turns of cooldown to the crew, which is awesome. He's a 5.25 captain as long as you have 4 of a dominant type, and he's just strong. Like, he's just a strong unit. He has orb manipulation, he's a chain boost, he has an attack boost. He's a very, very, very good character. So if you got the 6+, be very happy because he's very, very good. Moving on to the New Year's Legends now. This is where it gets fun because the New Year's Legends are all exceptionally powerful. Now, how powerful, I'm not 100% sure yet because it's still early days. But from what we've seen so far, these 3 characters are definitely in the top echelon. Starting off with Yamato, she's an absolute speed demon. She does work when it comes to speed. I don't have her in my top 5 though. I don't think she's a top 5 unit. I don't think she pushes out any of the characters that are there. But what she does do is introduce a very interesting final tap shenaniganry. She has the ability to give a increased damage taken when you have the percent damage buff. So she turns that into an attack boost just like Verse Yamato and just like Luffy Yamato with the final tap. But she does it at up to 200%. So if you have a 70% damage reduction, she gives you a 2.4, I believe. 2.4? Yeah, 2.4. 2.4 times attack boost to herself. On top of that, every time she switches, she adds 5% of the stats to the final tap character, maxing at 200%. So she can give herself 200% extra stats with her final tap, which also gives her that extra 2.4 times multiplier. Hell, if you get a 90% damage reduction, it's 2.8. So you can do some really, really cool stuff with her. She's a massive color affinity booster. She's a guaranteed 1.75, I believe, 1.75 additional damage taken unit. Plus, as a captain, if you're in her dual form, she gives herself 3 turns of cooldown every time a striker and a slash character uses a special. So that way she can increase her own color affinity to a 3 times color affinity buff. She can increase the increased damage taken to 2.25. Plus, with her Super EX, she can give you a 70% damage reduction, which will be that 2.4 times. I'm not 100% sure how effective this final tap shenaniganry is going to be, but I can definitely see it hitting very, very hard, just like back in the day of Luffy and Luffy crew. Well, with super tandems, if you like chuck in this guy's super tandem ability or the new Zoro Sanji super tandem ability, then you have this chick popping off with the final tap, whether you're using Rush or something like Roger or using something like Sanji's Rush. This particular Yamato is going to be very, very strong. She is a Dex striker slasher or quick striker slasher, so you can use her on 2 different teams. The color affinity gets very, very powerful. And as a captain, if you are in her dual form by turn 3, if you just want to like stall and then get into a dual form for whatever reason, she can give your entire crew 5 turns of cooldown. As the quick variation, she gives the entire crew 1 turn. As the Dex type, she gives herself 4 turns. So she can be very selfish or she can be very selfless, depending on what you need for the particular run. But she's very, very fast. She has a lot of damage output. She boosts strikers and slashes, so she has an array of very, very powerful subs. She's just a very, very good unit. Out of the 3, right now, from what we've seen, I do think she's probably the weakest of the 3. However, with that final tap, I haven't really seen how strong that final tap can be. And in saying that, she could go to the absolute moon. She also removes damage reduction too, so she has a little bit of utility. And then her captain, she also removes bind. So very, 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 very good stuff from the new Yamato Super Sugo. Next, we've got Roger and Odin. Now, Roger and Odin are an introduction of a quick slasher striker Rush. And again, they're a unit that doesn't exactly make my top 5. They are very, very good though. They are a very, very good unit. They give you an attack boost and an orb boost for quick slasher characters. And if you don't have quick slashers, they are then going to buff the quick type and the slasher type. So you can do some really, really interesting stuff there with their ability to also remove Despair as a captain completely, just like Roger. And then with their Super EX, give the top row Wano orbs and the right-hand column base stats, just like the V1 Odin used to do. You can do some really, really crazy things when you start looking at this particular character and her final tap with the 700 base stats and stuff like that as well. Roger and Odin have made Grand Voyage at Low Town against Luffy with the Striker Quick Team a lot more interesting, because you can do some really, really cool stuff if you're building out just mono Quick Teams. And if you build like mono Quick Striker Slasher teams, like you can do some really, really nice stuff there. Plus, with the introduction of the new Momo character, the new Hiyori, we're getting a lot of Slasher support that is within the quick meta, and obviously with Zoro being still so good as he is, these two characters are going to partner up very, very nicely. To get the Super EX and the Rush of Roger and Odin, you are going to need any of the Roger Pirates or any of the Wano Donnies, like the AK9 and all those types of characters. Plus, you have Ace in there as well, and I believe Whitebeard too, which they gave us a free-to-play Whitebeard for PKA as well. So that unit's going to be a very good Super Tandem character for free-to-play players, as well as just being a great option for the Super EX and the Rush ability. To tap second or third, you'll activate the Rush. It's basically identical to Kaido's and what Kaido is doing. However, you do need to make sure if you are using a Super Tandem with this character, you need to like factor in how you're going to be using a Super Tandem with Roger and Odin. So the idea would be to use something like Whitebeard and then an Ace character. They've given us the new free-to-play Ace. He's very, very, very good, but just very, very, very hard to max. But that's another character that's still it's an exceptional unit when it comes to looking at what this Odin and Roger is doing. So you could do something with that free-to-play Whitebeard, tap with Ace, then tap with the Whitebeard for the Super Tandem, and then hit into Roger and Odin for the Rush ability. Roger and Odin also have the ability to give you like a 3.25 times attack boost, 3 turns of a 3 times orb boost. They have that remove, nullify, and red haki ability too. So they're fantastic. Like, remember how good Roger and Odin were back in the day? This character's basically just doing it in one. Like, they're just... I actually love this unit. I love this unit so much. They're so good. In Rumble, they're great. They're a fantastic character. If you pull them, be very, very happy. Finally, we have Zoro Sanji, and honestly, Zoro Sanji are probably the best of the 3 from what I've seen so far. Now, we haven't had Treasure Map, we haven't had Super Boss, we haven't had Kuzuna, so we haven't really seen exactly how powerful all 3 of these characters are. And after we do have Super Boss, I will do my endgame tier list, which will basically put a better perspective on these characters for endgame players, and that might see how like powerful Yamato is with that final tap, and see how powerful the rush ability of Roger and Odin is. But Zoro and Sanji, they're a top 5 unit in my eyes. Who I want to take out of the top 5 is a little bit tricky. I think it's probably going to be Zoro. I think it's probably going to be Zoro. He only just got in the top 5 last month, but I think I'm going to have to move him out. Just because Zoro and Sanji they're so good. It's basically these 2 units kind of together. Their Super Tandem is a 2.5 times attack boost to free spirit and slashes. They give tandem orbs with their swap, so you can get it every single turn. They give a 1.3 times attack and orb boost every single turn. Their Super Swap is a 2.25, which is just disgusting. They have the biggest chain boost in the game at 2.0, and the biggest chain multiplicative buff as a sub. They can turn everyone into slashes and free spirits. They have a Super EX for slashes and free spirits, which is absolutely nuts. And it's kind of crazy what this unit can do and how much damage output the unit has just solely by itself. You can get the Super Tandem off, the Super EX, and the Super Swap, and then the Special. This unit is already bringing so much. 2.75 times attack, 2.75 orbs, 2.0 chain boost, 1.75 chain multiplicative buff, a 0.7 tap for free spirit and slashes, a Super EX, so that way you're getting the Super EX for those types as well. It's crazy what they can actually do. Their Super Tandem is a little bit less to be desired in my eyes. It's not like one you use on the final stage. So if it sort of rocks a bit better than Nami's, I will put them 3rd. But for what Nami's doing with her Super Tandem at the moment, I still think she is just a little bit better. But obviously with Roger, Odin, and then Yamato, and then this particular character all going on the same team, being all slasher characters, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what we can do when it comes to Super Boss this time around. I was lucky enough to rainbow these 2 units, so I'm very, very keen to see the damage numbers. Hopefully I can find a maxed out Yamato, but I do have Final Tap tablets, so if it is very, very good, I can max her out too. And this particular celebration has been very generous to me, and I'm very, very blessed, but I'm very, very excited to see what these characters can actually do. As a captain, these guys also have Fear Removal, which is the first character to ever have that. Plus, they're that weird sort of hybrid you need. 1 class of each of the 4 primary classes, and then Driven and Free Spirit. But with that ability to make everyone Free Spirit slashes, you can do some really nice stuff there. And they're just exceptionally good. Like, they're just very, very, very good unit. Finally, we have the 6+ of Law. And 6+ of Law is actually, he's a lot of fun. I don't think he's going to be like anything too crazy. I think he has some utility with attack down and paralysis in his super type. He's made to work alongside the level limit break of Corazon. as if your captain has a Dex Orb, if you have a Tandem Orb, he does different stuff. He's additional damage taken went up to 1.75. He's still a 2.75 times attack boost, which is really nice. And then he has the ability to, yeah, like I said, do some utility there too. He's going to be very, very good. I just don't think he's going to be exceptional. I do think I like Red Rock Luffy just a little bit more. But this guy goes up to a 5.75 times captain now, so I don't want to discredit that at all. Because I do think that's going to be exceptionally powerful. I'm actually going to move Kaido down here. I think this Kaido sucks dick. He's actually just such a bad character. He's the meta for int units, but like int needs a lot of help. Finally, we have Ace, the free-to-play Legend 6+ Ace. And this guy is actually so good. Like, I'm going to put him in meta. But I'm only going to put him in meta because they're going to make him meta for the next sort of month. Hopefully, like, downwards of 3 months. Now, to get all the copies of this character, I did put out a video, like, let's talk about this Ace. Go check that out if you guys want the deep breakdown of how to get the character. But overall, as a character, if you do manage to max him out somehow... Now, remember, new players watching this video, you're not going to be able to max him out. Just please hear me when I say that. He gives a double conditional boost for burn. He sets his HP nice and low. He works great as a striker. And like I said, he's going to work exceptionally with this unit right here. And then you have that Whitebeard. That's going to work all hunky-dory. But to get the ability that Ace really wants with that double conditional boost like these characters are doing here, it's not easy to get. It's a lot of EXP, it's a lot of materials, it's a lot of farming, and for what you get, it's kind of like the same as Roden. It's kind of like the same as Big Mom, and Big Mom works under Zoro Sanji. Robin works under Zoro Sanji, so like I just don't understand why they made this guy so expensive. What he does though is really cool. Like he's a very, very cool unit. He does some interesting stuff in Rumble if you have a Whitebeard or a Luffy on the team. He's a striker shooter, which is super interesting. And he can also remove the attack down and any sort of chain shenanigans in his captain. If you are a new player, just pick up one copy, call it a day, and go from there, because it's really nice to see that they're doing this as a concept. I love this as a concept. I just don't love the execution and the way they've gone about it. But in saying that, I do think that it's a very, very, very good idea. Like, it's a very, very good idea to be doing stuff like this. But that's going to wrap up the tier list for the end of 2023, December anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if you guys agree with anything, disagree with anything. Did I underrate characters? Or if you guys want some clarity on some units, just let me know down below. And we can sort of chat in the comment section, or other people can sort of comment down below too. But let me know as well what your favorite legend is if you got this far in the video. While you're down there, like I said, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.